Well, hello again, aircraft fans. This is a 1/400 scale of the Royal Australian Air Force's Boeing E-7A Wedgetail. Never even knew this plane existed. But that's me collecting models for you, learning about the real world by collecting miniatures. So, we got some nice info here, so I don't have to go to Wikipedia. Sorry, but you guys can see the top of my toolbars here. Let's get those out of the way. So you could obviously pause that, but this is basically like an electronics awareness airplane. You know, the old planes would have a circular radome, but this has so many weird gadgets on it now. I guess that's just the way antennas are now. Royal Australian Air Force, but then it was so popular, other countries, and now the US is even ordering a bunch of these that will be delivered in 2027. If we look here, oh boy, this is small text. Let me maybe zoom in or something. It's based off of a 737. Two engines with some crazy code name. First flight in 02. Cruising speed 530, range 4,000 miles. Okay. So this is a diecast model, by the way. And they're the dimensions of the real plane, 110 feet long and wingspan of 117 feet. So you can see the box is just a standard size box. And, this is actually a Las Vegas company. I didn't realize. I knew they're US based, but I didn't know they're in Vegas, baby, Vegas. I do keep the packaging for these because you can't ship a model this fragile. If you ever sell these things, you know, you really, I think, need this vacuum form to keep the wings from snapping off. There's a little plastic on the top and bottom, a little sheet, you know, that keeps the blister from scratching the paint. You do have to put this back a certain way. Alright. So I will keep that. So pleasantly, we talked about the stats of it, so I don't need to do that anymore. So this, I think Australia has at least 4. I saw a picture of 4 of these things parked next to each other. You can see all the wacky antennae on this one. Kind of like landing. Hold on here. Some sort of weird Fresneling. I don't know if it's going to show up on YouTube, but I see like a weird Fresneling on my screen. I don't know if it's weird. Maybe it's my screen protector on this phone. Look at this one. There's so many antennae on this thing, it's crazy. And they're actually on the model as well. It's just I'm afraid to break the antenna, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to hold this. But look at that photo. All the antenna, and then look at the model. Alright, so then this last photo is just a sense of human scale. You know, it's a commercial airline jet with a bunch of electronics in it. This is actually a 1/200 scale placemat. It's not 1/400 scale, but it works. Alright, so, boy, I don't want to drop this, and I don't want to have an antenna break off. So let's see if I can focus. So, these diecasts, they always have, almost all the time, they have printed on windows. It's just too small, you know, to have a separate clear piece. I can't focus on those windows. I don't know why. It's weird. Like, I get really close to my models and with their cars. I don't know why I can't focus on that cockpit. Maybe if I focus on my finger? There we go. Sorry. So anyways, you can see the cockpit's just got some gray windows, but the frames are printed on too. The aluminum frame, very nice, and even like wiper blades, very impressive. And then we have the A30001. I don't know what that is, but maybe that's the registration number. I don't remember the box. This is for airborne refueling. You know, one of those fuel planes will come and the nozzle will inject fuel into there. You can see the door is printed nicely. The windows, most of them seem to be blanked off on the real photographs. But if this is a commercial airline, those would be open windows. Only these four are actual windows. So I guess that makes sense. There's probably like a whole bank of electronics right here, so there's no windows anyways. It's just a bunch of electronics behind that wall, I imagine. I don't know what almost all these things are. It's all classified, and even if I knew, it would just be a bunch of weird acronyms. So yeah, yellow dots, white dots, and then you can see the antennae here. They're actually pressed into the casting. There's some holes here. And then these things look like they're molded plastic, and this, whatever those are, again, I don't know. The Royal Australian Air Force, very finely printed. And then the wings here, they're a different color. The fuselage is like a matte gray. I feel like the wings are a little bit glossier. You can't see the gloss, but maybe they're satin finish. Some sort of Royal Australian Air Force logo there. We got the arrows to walk down the wing. And then this wacky, I assume, is some sort of radome. It's interesting that it's actually canted, you know, like a hot rod. It's not flat. It's not parallel to the fuselage. I don't know why. Maybe it's meant to scan the rear end of the plane, if I had to guess, right? Scan down that way. Because if they did it where this was canted the other way, it would create lift, and then the plane might become too difficult to handle. But here they just assume maybe also the wings are in the way. But here you'll notice there's no wing in the way, so I'm going to guess this thing sends its radar down there, or whatever electromagnetic radiation is being sent out of that thing. The tip is black there, of course. I don't think it's painted well, though. I feel like it should come up to this parting line. Maybe that's not a parting line, but some sort of panel gap. Alright. Yeah, that must be the registration number because it's on the side of the plane too. Let's see if I can zoom in on this door. Yeah, no legible text or anything like that. You can see the graininess of the matte finish. There are some tiny specks of contamination, it looks like. Or is that... No, never. No, that's just lint, I guess. Now noticing there's some vents right here, but the printing has missed the mark. It should be in those grooves there. They are on the front, and the front again has the silver, so that's good. Wow. Alright, so the leading edge of the wing is silver. The door there, yeah. On more expensive brands like Phoenix, you can actually read the text of on the doors. It's quite amazing. But Gemini is not. They're good, but I wouldn't call them the best in the 1/400 scale arena. But I like them because they have this whole line of military airplanes. That's why it's called Macs. Military aircraft something, I don't know. Alright, well anyways, we got some printing on the doors here, and the wheels here, I think they may even spin. Well, they're definitely separate pieces. And then you got some sort of bulge here with some electronics, I assume, and then again, the antenna there. And more and more. Let's try to look at this engine. A lot of printing on that engine. They're flatted on the bottom a little bit, like the commercial airplane. That's for air runway clearance. And you'll see the fan blades in there, pretty nice. I think they're actually passing air. Hold on, it's so difficult to hold this thing with so many antennae. I'm gonna get the flashlight and let's see if we can see some light coming through there. No, they are not passing air. Well, but there's definitely something behind those blades. I mean, it's black. I think maybe just the back end is blanked off. You can actually see the headlight details, you know, the lights there on the wings. Alright, so I'm at 4 times magnification right now. Look at all this stuff. Seems to be some glue residue marks, unfortunately. Yeah, the landing gear, there's a recess there. There's some black antennas there of a different shape. This is a peg stand hole, but I don't display my stuff in flight mode. Yeah, more antennae, and these are, you'll notice they're this is asymmetric. This one not here. Some bulges here, some more antennae, another more antennae, and then whatever this thing is, I don't know. And then you got that little ejection port. I don't know, I forget, what is this stuff? Is this, what did they shoot out the back of that thing? Bathroom waste? Can't be, that would kill people, right? Maybe it's just an exhaust for some sort of small engine to keep the cockpit warm. Some sort of loading bay graphic. The rear wheels, yeah, so you can see it actually has rolling wheels. So all you Hot Wheels collectors, does it roll? Well, yeah, there it can roll. But I'd like to see this go down a Hot Wheels track. This is painted gray. Yeah, alright. Oh, a whole bunch of printing, right? Very cool. These wings might be casted in. Yeah, I think this is part of the same fuselage casting. I'm a little curious. I'm going to count these antennae. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait, I missed one already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 on the bottom. I'll probably forget that number. 19 on the bottom. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. There's 26 antennae on this thing. that's a lot of separate pieces. That's crazy. And I also noticed here on the bottom, I thought this was broken. You see how this is like kicked in? But then I looked at the other side. It's kicked in. That's on purpose. I don't understand the logic of that. That would just create so much drag. I don't know why that would be. Please leave a comment if you know. And then, yeah, again, I have no idea what that is. Alright. Very cool. Printing on the tail here. The, yeah, rear ailerons are just, they're plastic, I think. I think this is plastic, yeah. And it's kind of loose, but these wings are definitely metal. The rear of the engines. Two different metal colors, a gunmetal and the silver ring, so that's pretty nice. Alright, the rear landing gear details, good enough. Wow, that was really difficult to do because of all the antenna. I'm really nervous that I'm going to break something off. So let's look at a few other aircraft here. Alright, very similar. Also, I think this is by Gemini as well. You know what? This one actually says Gemini Jets on the bottom. Or Gemini Macs on the bottom. What does this one? Oh, it is there. Yeah, I didn't notice, but it's right there. So, okay, that's good because you know what it is. Although it doesn't tell you what the actual plane is. So this one is also the Royal Australian Air Force. This is the newest Poseidon, a P-8A Poseidon. They have these little name tags, so I'll just leave that there. This next one is a Russian plane. So this is what, you know, I think of when I think of like an electronics countermeasure. This is an Ilyushin manufactured plane. It's called the IL-76MD. So yeah, that's that radio. There you go. This is by an old brand. They don't exist anymore, called Witty Wings. So you can see it's definitely lacking the details of the Gemini jets. I feel like the paint might be laid on a little bit too thick here, this glossy paint. But still okay. The wheels don't roll, by the way, and that's fine by me. But it's got the nice still printing going on with the windows and the door and all that stuff. I think that's Aeroflot. I could be wrong. Please leave a comment if you know. And it actually has a tail gunner cockpit. So kind of cool. Although there's no guns on this particular plane, but I think they must have had one, a variation of that plane. Let's see. This is a Japanese JASTF. This is a Boeing 767-200. Sorry for the focus. And again, it has the circular radome thing, a nice printing of whatever that stuff is. And this is made by, I don't know. It's not branded. Maybe JC Wings? No, probably Dragon Wings. This is by Dragon Wings, and that brand doesn't exist anymore either. Which is a real shame, because they had a whole line of military aircraft and commercial aircraft as well. But yeah, there you go. Not much to this. A pretty plain livery, being a military plane. You can see the engines, you know, although they have nice ribbing and stuff, there's definitely no air passing between those fins. It's a finer fin, but there's no air passing like the one we're reviewing today. Two more. So that blurb on the box said this will be replacing the American 707s. This is a 707-320B, but it's actually a NATO version of the. So the E-3A is its military designation, but it's really a Boeing 707. Who makes this? This I don't know. I don't know if this is a Dragon Wings or something else. I guess you could just search 1400 NATO E-3A and it'll come up in the result. Alright, so yeah, nice printing on it. You notice there's no decal use. You know, I complain about that stuff in my car videos. There's no decals. This is all paint, you know. These models, some of them are over 10 years old, so yeah, no issues. This one's got some funky bulges on the side of the, you know, fuselage. Must be some sort of electronics going on in those bulges. Alright, the very last one is a pretty small one. And it's this is made by, I think, Gemini as well. This is an RP-3D Orion, and this is by the U.S. National Oceanographic Office. I think it's part of a division of the Coast Guard, but this is actually a prop plane. And actually the props, well, no, yeah, the props do spin, amazingly. And then again, there's good detail all around. I find this interesting. Sorry, focus. I don't know what all these things are. Smoke emitters or something? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe they send out smoke charges. So when they find something, they mark it, you know, with the smoke, so the boats then can rescue people or something. I don't know. Oceanographic Office, though. It's not the Coast Guard. They're doing some sort of research. Project C-Scan. Oh, well, that might explain it. Maybe this scans the oceans. Yeah, that could be it. Please leave a comment if you know. I don't really know much about airplanes. If you didn't think I know about cars, I know very little about airplanes. I just like collecting small models. That's why my channel is named that. Okay. So let's get these things. Let me pop that in there. See if I can get all of them arranged in the line. Nah, I don't think I can. Give a sense of scale. Alright, so for today, we have a pretty small airplane. Granted, the old prop plane. Either the prop plane is big or this jet plane is small. And then this is more normal sized, right? Because it's really a 767 Boeing. And then over here, these are more normal size for, you know, commercial airline standards. This is a 707, and then I already misplaced that tag. And then the Russian plane is quite big. I think this could have been a cargo plane originally. Maybe that's why it's so large, but they've made variations, right? Well, truly an impressive airplane and an impressive model of an airplane, just based on the fact that someone had to put in all those antennas. All those little pieces had to be glued in there. And they like that the fan blades and the engines, there's air behind them, or air kind of passing through. So it's very cool, and it is very matte finish, the fuselage at least, so that makes sense for a military aircraft. So very cool. Every now and then I just do a search, for 1-400 airplanes and just see if there's anything new out there. I don't really follow the forums or anything like that, but I'm glad that actually I'm glad they don't come out with too many castings because they're quite expensive models, but they're quite interesting. Right? Even if I don't know what any of these radomes and antennae are, it's interesting to look at. So thank you for watching today, and hopefully a new casting will come out this year, and I'll be able to review something later. Alright, take care guys, bye now.